Let's do a thought experiment. Everyone close your eyes. Let's say when you walk out of here, you see a shiny object in the bushes. You bend down and you find it's a magic lamp. You rub it, and a genie comes out. And the genie says, "Hey, I'm actually a genie in training, so I can only grant you one wish. But here it is. If you tell me the one thing you want to do in life with no fear of failure, I'll make sure you're successful. It may not be a week from now, a year from now, or a decade from now. But once you tell me, success will follow." Open your eyes. What would you ask the genie for? A year and a half ago, in my 4th week at Stanford Business School, an instructor named Graham Weaver challenged my class with this assignment. Later that night, I went home to think about it. But after an hour, I was stumped. I had no idea what to ask the genie for. You see, I, like many of us, had grown up learning how to think practically, and that meant going after the highest paying, most prestigious jobs available. The formula was, put in your dues first, fulfillment second. And until coming to business school, I lived that. In college, I studied to make A's, and then when I graduated, I took a corporate job and put my head down, never stopping to think about what I actually wanted. You see, I was confusing busyness and obligation with a sense of purpose. So when I was sitting there thinking about the genie, I realized I needed to rewind, to go back through all the things that had excited me in the past. It wasn't that corporate job, nor was it any of my hobbies that I had in college, cooking or architecture. No, I had to go back even further, all the way to high school. As a kid, I loved stories. I was pretty awkward, so in lieu of real friends, I had the characters from Of Mice and Men, Catch-22, The Old Man and the Sea. Stories were pure magic. They transported me to a different world. The time I felt most alive was when I was reading, falling into living stories. So I decided to act. The next quarter, that first week in January, over a year ago, I walked into an undergraduate creative writing course. Now, to be honest, I don't remember the material we covered on that first day. What I do remember is that for 2 hours, I didn't even think about my phone. I was on a different planet, not in a different department. When I left class, I was tingly, something I hadn't felt since high school. For the last year, I've followed this feeling. I've taken 4 more fiction courses, and this winter, I submitted applications for MFA programs in creative writing. And I love it. I wake up at 5, 4, 3 in the morning just to squeeze in a few extra hours of writing. I read a short story every day, and I aim for a novel a week. I can't get enough. But leaving the secure world of business for the unsure one of fiction writing, following my MBA with an MFA, is risky and about as far away from practical as you can get. For me, and for many of us, there's a tremendous tension between the things that put food on the table and those that excite us. This tension was studied by famed psychologist Abraham Maslow, who combined anecdotal evidence with stories from successful individuals to create the hierarchy of needs. Our primary needs, Maslow said, are physiological. That's food, water, sex. Once those are taken care of, we seek safety, that's shelter. And only once we feel protected do we go after first love, then self-esteem, and finally, at the very peak of the pyramid, self-actualization, or what we might call fulfillment. Growing up, I subscribed to this model. Over the past year, though, I started thinking about it differently. What if we changed the formula? What if instead of fulfillment last, we put fulfillment first and trust that the rest will follow? Now, I fully understand that to even have a conversation about self-actualization is a luxury and a privilege. But when we're more engaged in our careers and in our lives, we're more effective. We're better able to put food on the table and roofs over our heads. Leading with fulfillment isn't ignoring those primary needs. It's focusing on what's really important so that we can find fulfillment while we meet those needs. And actually, our brains are wired for this. You see, on the outside, we have the neocortex. It's the part responsible for rational thought, and it helps us put our heads down and work at any given task. But beneath that is the limbic brain, related to emotion and fulfillment, and it's this part that actually drives and motivates our behavior. So how do we do this? How do we start with fulfillment? In my experience, there are 2 steps. First, find the thing that lights you up. Second, go after it. Right, so that sounds easy, but obviously it's not. So let's unpack it. First, find the thing that lights you up. This is the genie exercise. What would you ask the genie for? Sometime this week, take just 10 minutes to think about it. Maybe it's that childhood passion you've been ignoring for years. Or perhaps it's that thing you find yourself doing when you're procrastinating in your studies or at work. And step 2, go after this thing. Learn Taekwondo, start a fashion website for dogs, or dedicate your life to discounted cash flow analysis, if that's your thing. Whatever it is, go after it. And every week, continue to take those 10 minutes to check in with yourself. Ask, is this thing still firing me up? If it is, awesome. Keep at it. If it's not, and you have to be honest with yourself here, go back to step 1, back to the genie. And this is the hardest part. This is the part nobody talks about. If you're like me, you won't find the thing on the first try. It'll be the 4th or the 5th or the 15th. When cooking was my thing, I started filling out applications for culinary school. When it was architecture, I picked up a civil engineering degree as an undergrad. None of those pursuits are my thing. They didn't fire me up. So I gave up on culinary school and let my engineering degree gather dust on the shelf. This is the part nobody talks about because the act of trying and failing and moving on, trying and failing and moving on is mucky and disheartening, and it's embarrassing. When you try something and it doesn't work out, it's almost impossible to go back to the genie and ask for yet another thing. But we have to. The punchline of the genie exercise is that you are the genie. You have the ability to grant yourself this wish. You have to trust that no matter how many things you try, no matter how low you get, that when you go after this thing, when you find your creative writing, everything else will follow. Decades ago, Abraham Maslow described self-actualization, something achieved by the likes of Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein, as becoming fully human. And one of the key characteristics of these individuals was the ability to have peak experiences, feelings of ecstasy, harmony, and deep meaning, feeling at one with the universe, stronger and calmer than ever. Now, I'm no Lincoln or Einstein, but when I write, I get a taste of this feeling. And I'm up here today because I want you to feel it too, to become human, to be self-actualized, to earn those feelings of ecstasy and deep meaning. And you don't have to win the Nobel Prize or totally change your career to do it. Fulfillment is a lifelong investment banker starting a dairy farm in upstate New York. It's a single mom who volunteers in the soup kitchen every Thursday night. It's part-time, it's full-time, it's a week from now, a year from now, a decade from now. It's out there for you and for me. Now, I don't have it all figured out. If I can't hack it as a writer, I'm going to have to get another job that will pay the bills. But for now, I'm putting fulfillment first and trusting that the rest will follow. Well, oh, almost. What will you accomplish when you find the thing that lights you up? What will you ask the genie for?